Welcome to Entangled Observations. I have a thought here. I ran into an article on Substack, Age and Cognitive Ability, and in it I discovered or found out, or it was a reanalysis of the idea that the older we get, the dumber we get, which is something that I believed. I thought that the reason that age seems to speed up as you get older is because your brain slows down, so the perception of time moves more quickly. So I just assumed that that would mean that as you're getting older, you're getting dumber. However, this article made a really good and convincing case that that isn't actually the case. Well, in some ways it is. For example, when you're younger, say in your 20s, you think a lot faster, which is definitely has a correlation to intelligence. But as you get older, you also get more intelligent. And you get more intelligent because you've increased your amount of knowledge, you've increased your ability to problem solve. And it turns out that middle-aged and even older, we're talking into your 70s, I mean, as long as you're not getting dementia or something like that, you're actually getting more intelligent at problem solving. And so when you're young and you want to problem solve, you're really at a disadvantage when you compare to somebody older. And so I would say that a lot of that has to do with experience, but it is a huge contributor to intelligence. And so this article is basically saying that as you get older, you get more intelligent. Not necessarily thinking quickly. So there are advantages to being young, there are advantages to being older. But what gets me, especially in these times when everything's so crazy and up in the air, what kind of an idiotic civilization do we live in? Seriously stupid. Where we prize youth so much, and then we take all these people who have this accumulated wisdom, and now, as it turns out, intelligence and ability to solve problems, we shuffle them off. We say, it's your end of life. That's it. You're done. It's good enough. You're off to the home. Especially right now. Now, let's face it, right? When you're younger, you might be able to think quickly, but you basically don't know anything. And then you go to, say, university, and you listen to your parents, and they feed your head full of all kinds of shit. Let's be honest. I mean, I watch university professors on YouTube all the time, and it just shocks me. So, they speak with an authority and an arrogance that really I'm not susceptible to. I look at that and I go, who the hell are you trying to kid, buddy? So you've got some letters behind your name. You read some books. Like, seriously? You can go to hell. But the thing is, kids fall for that. And then they get out of school and they think, oh, I'm big brain. I know all this stuff. They don't know anything. They've been brainwashed. They've been led down a garden path. That's what's happened. But then in our society, we say, well, they're young. We better listen to them. And so we're letting young people lead social revolutions, social movements, all these sorts of things. I mean, most civilizations don't do that. Most civilizations respect their elders, respect older people. There's an understanding that there's a wisdom there. And maybe there's even an understanding that there's an intelligence there. And we've just thrown all that out of the water, which frankly makes us idiots. It really does. So what I'm proposing here, and sort of my idea from this, and I really suggest that you check this out on Substack. It's a good read. But what I'm going to suggest here is that maybe our solutions right now to our current problems don't lie with young people. As we sit here and we expect sort of the young people to take charge, the young people to change things, they're not capable of it. They're growing up in a world. This is the world they know. It's the older people who remember a time before all of this chaos happened. So, in particular, I need to clarify that I am Canadian. And so Canada is in a particular bind. I mean, Canada is sort of its own disaster. And it really is. It's a slow-moving disaster. We went from rank like the fourth best place to live in the world to now we're in the 30s or something. Basically, we've gone into the dumpster. So if we're going to sit around and we're going to say, oh, young people need to do something, people need to take action. Honestly, that's one of the stupidest things I've ever heard. It's ridiculous. And I'm sort of animated over this, and I'm upset about this because it's obvious, right? You know, go look at some other civilizations, some other things that have happened. You can see, you know, just shuffling all the old people. Well, in Canada, euthanizing them, right? We're killing them. Oh, you don't like living in poverty? You don't have enough of a pension? Well, we suggest the old, you know, jibby jab. Just go to sleep. It's appalling. I just found out today that we've put to death something like 90,000 people. No, they're not all old, but I imagine a good portion of them are. The idea that we have passed our prime, 50s, 60s, 70s, is absurd. We have more capacity to solve problems than we ever have, and and more than young people have. That's just how it is. And frankly, the country needs us. Now, if you're an American and you're listening to this, I would say the same thing applies. I mean, your country's not far behind ours. You're going through a renaissance of sorts, and that's really wonderful. I hope it succeeds. But if you're in Europe, then I'm sure you can relate to Canada. I mean, I don't know. I pay attention to this stuff. So I don't mean to get political here. But what I'm saying is that we need to stop. We need to stop with this love affair of youth, and that youth lead the world and youth change things and youth are the dynamic for problem solving. It's just not true. All right, thanks for watching. I hope you like this, and I hope you'll subscribe if you enjoyed this, and I hope you'll come back for more. As I get thoughts, I'll post videos. All right, take care. Bye.